What is going on, Airsofters? I am your host, the Spinkster Cell. Now, what I have in front of you today is something very special. This is one of my completed builds that I've purchased a long time ago. Told you all my plans for it in that initial unboxing video. Yet here we are, literal years later. The project has been completed. Now, it's not easy for me to complete projects considering the amount of guns I have and my desire to upgrade pretty much all of them. So I finally decided to do the Wilson Combat grips to complete what I have designated my Wilson Combat M9 build. I custom made these Beretta grips to fit the Wilson Combat logos and to fit the KWC full auto M9, which they're not designed to go onto. These grips I actually purchased from AliExpress.com, and I do purchase a lot of random bits from that website. It is from China, it's super cheap, it's where I get all my patches and I just add my Velcro. These grips were on AliExpress for a nice $14. Can't get any better than that considering they are built really well, pretty much on par with real steel M9 grips. They should fit real steel M9s just perfectly, but in the terms of this KWC here, quite a bit of modifications needed to be done with the Dremel. Thankfully I have recorded most of it, so if you want to add these grips to your KWC, you'll know exactly where to make your modifications. Now, to add the actual medallions was a little harder. I think the medallions were also about $14, and I got them on eBay. I went with the cheapest Wilson Combat medallion, which I think is called like Pelter or something. It's like one of the least good looking ones. They have like gold and platinum, which are pretty pricey. Now the M9 grips, the reason I didn't buy the straight up Wilson Combat ones, they're like $60 to $80. They're no joke. They have a very good look. Cool forced pistol vibe going with it. So when I found these grips, they have a hint of green to them and black. And they look just like the Starburst grips on my Wilson Combat 1911. Okay, and because I can, we do still have my Wilson Combat CQB Elite from SOCOM Gear. This is actually my first gas blowback pistol, probably my most upgraded pistol as well. We can compare, and you can see we have the cool Starburst ribbing texture. Now these grips are made by WeTech and molded so they're Airsoft spec, not as high quality as our actual AliExpress grips down here. Much thicker, stronger material. So yeah, that inspired me to do the M9 build when I saw that Wilson Combat also does M9s now, and they do look rather snazzy. So both of my custom Wilson Combats currently have a compensator attachment on the front, which I feel makes any pistol overall a complete badass long slide guns. They just look totally ready. So as you can see, SOCOM Gear has used a very old school looking Wilson Combat Eagle for theirs. And then on the newest stuff from Wilson Combat, it's a much cleaner looking Eagle with like a C right there for Wilson Combat. Much more detail and texture and design on the real steel medallion. They look phenomenal and amazing. Now these medallions have been added by me with a Dremel right through the middle, and then a lot of fine working with the Dremel to get it just perfect and bezeled. And then I had to bend the little arm points and epoxy glue them into place. Now why did I pick the KWC Mod 92 to be the Wilson Combat donor M9? I mean, we have KWA, we have Tokyo Marui, we have quite a few options. Now I do love the KWC Mod 92 for a lot of reasons. We have the very heavyweight full metal heavy kick CO2 power source of this gun. Zero issues with this gun. Very fast and snappy. It also goes full auto, which is considered a rarity for most guns since it's covertly hidden and just an extra feature by KWC. I also love it because, the built materials and the heft and the quality overall of this M9 is phenomenal. I don't like KWA's PTP pistols with their plastic outer barrels and they're not realistic spec. Tokyo Marui, you gotta upgrade them to full metal. WeTech is simply shit and it's gonna fall apart, and I have had experience with them falling apart before, so I know what I'm saying. Now, this one in particular, the Mod 92, why is it the best? We have the round trigger guard. The round trigger guard is one of the main reasons I love the look of the M92 Now, the other thing I did, the first thing I did actually, was add on the Hitman compensator from Algemech. Now, this is pretty much made popular by Leon the Professional. I got this on Airsoft GI for around $25, I think, maybe a little bit less, and there was some modifications that needed to be done. So this is a completely modified, completely finished build because everything that went into it had to literally be modified in order to fit. There's one thing left on this pistol that I desire to do, and that is to actually tattoo laser engrave the Wilson Combat Eagle right here in the corner. That is pretty much what they do when they customize their M9s. They add that. I do have a friend, if you remember Force Thunder, he says that he is going to get access to one, so maybe we'll have a follow-up short video of that little tattoo once it's done, and maybe some of my other guns will get some laser markings. So there was one other thing I wanted to do was add the extended magazine because my M9A3 from KWC exploded in my face, and just the slide is completely trashed. This whole section broke off. The full metal version of the KWC, they're both the same gun essentially, but M9A3 just explodes on everyone who's ever bought the gun, so that's a complete shame. It's a really nice gun. So if you have a KWC full metal M9 slide like this one, all by itself, you want to sell me that slide, I will paint it tan and reconstruct my M9A3. So the M9A3 magazine release is not compatible with this version of the M9. Really sad, because it would complete the actual design of the gun, considering Wilson Combat adds that to your gun. This is not like the M9A3. Controls are still all the same. We have the decocker and the safety right here. Anyway, I have discovered that my safety has actually not able to work anymore because of the modifications in this area here. Since this is a full auto build, you can see the selector switch. Some of the bits in here need to be modified quite a bit to fit this grip, and it seems to have disabled my safety. No longer decocks. If I really want to fix that, I can go back in there and Dremel some more stuff. So let's talk about what needs to be Dremeled to fit all of this. Let's start with the grip. So this screw is going to fit just fine. These are the original screws. The grips did come with some really fancy looking Allen key screws, but they are not the right spec for the KWC. We have to stick with these old, ugly looking screws for now. This one goes in just fine, but then this one will not. You will need to Dremel this hole slightly wider in order to fit this screw. The slide lock will be too tight, so you will need to Dremel a little meat off of this section on the inside to activate your slide lock again. On this side, you do see you have the full auto selector switch. You do have to Dremel quite a bit of meat out of the way in order to make it still functional. That is only on the full auto mod, or the KWC full auto M9s. That is completely necessary on any grip you change out. A lot of meat pretty much here. There's a plate here. You need to Dremel off a lot of material from the inside here so that all these moving components will fit. Same thing with the screw hole here is exactly the same. Otherwise, they are looking phenomenal. I am very impressed with the way these turned out, considering they're $14 and the modifications worked really well. Dremeling the holes to fit the medallions. See, it's not 1000% perfect, but for someone who's never done this in their house, I'd say I did quite a good job. That looks amazing. That really has taken the look of this $100 airsoft gun and made it look like something truly special. So the first modification I made to this gun, obviously, was the compensator on the front. This ended up getting a lot of clicks when I made my actual review of the gun. Now it is complete. So, many people had a lot of questions. How do you modify the Hitman comp to fit on a KWC M9? They're not meant to go on this gun. It is made for a WeTech. So, basically, this little corner here that rubs up against the frame, you need to file on the inside to fit the frame on both sides. So, let's take the actual gun apart. I don't like taking apart M9s. It's just kind of frustrating in a way. I just don't like taking apart most guns, honestly. Anything except for a 1911 or a Glock is kind of annoying to take apart. So, what needs to be modified? A lot of people had questions about this. The guide rod. You could see the little arm. There's like a little metal arm that's supposed to lock into this part on the SOCOM gear. It's not required. just cut it completely off, and it'll just be like a circle. It'll literally just sit right there. It doesn't lock in, none of that. It's just the right length where it'll be fine. So if that is something you've been concerned about, maybe you watched my full-length review, now you will know what is necessary to modify your gun. Oh my god, I hate taking apart a knife. Jesus Christ, look at this weirdness. Oh my god, side stuck. Oh my god, nice. What a nightmare these things can be. Oh jeez, okay. Got lucky. And voila. So that has been my completed build of my Wilson Combat Mod 92A1. This is a full auto M9 done to look very sexy. Leave a like, I hope you enjoyed, and if you're not subscribed, consider it. We have a lot of cool, awesome, unique, and rare airsoft content on this channel. Stay tuned.